Hey, Trail Chrysler at goHUNT.com. Today I have a review for you of some of the shoes that we carry in the gear shop. These would be our early season shoes. A number of years ago, Brady Miller that works here had come to me and said, hey, you ought to try out a more flexible, like a trail running shoe for hunting. And I have a really bad right ankle, which didn't make sense to me that I would try a more flexible running type of shoe for hunting. But basically kind of what he said is I think what you'll find is that with the give in it, the flex in it, you'll actually have more give in your movement in your foot. You'll have more articulation with your feet. You won't sprain your ankle nearly as much. And I've always worn a stiff mountain boot like probably a lot of you have. But I decided to take him up on it. I bought a flexible trail running shoe. I ended up hunting in it a bunch that year, and what I actually found is that I did better. I didn't roll my ankle nearly as much as I did with a stiff mountain boot. So we actually brought in, when we brought boots into the gear shop, we wanted to carry a full line of flexible hikers, so low tops, mid height, really flexible hiking, hunting shoes or boots, if you will. So today I wanted to run through a bunch of those that we carry in the gear shop, kind of touch on some of the pros from some of those models that we carry. All of these options would be great for early season scouting, early season hunts, so early season archery antelope, early season mule deer if you're hunting some low country, maybe some of that rolling sage, cedar, and pinyon juniper country that a lot of us hunt deer in. Even some low country for elk. But yeah, these are kind of like our early season flexible hiking hunter boots. The first one I'm going to touch on is this crispy Crossover GTX. It's a flex rating of 2, so it's relatively flexible. It's a suede upper, so it isn't all leather upper. You do have some portions of it here on the side that are kind of a synthetic. The Crossover gets its name from the tongue, so if you can see that tongue, it kind of crosses over. Where your typical shoe, has a normal tongue, this one actually lays over on the inside of the boot. It makes for a really comfortable wrap of your foot. You have a full rand, which is this treated leather rand, which is nice. It's going to keep your foot from, protected from debris. This is just a really nice, comfortable early season boot. It's a mid height, which is nice. So you got a little bit of added ankle protection. This is an excellent choice, like I said, for early season, scouting, antelope, mule deer, Vibram sole, of course, which is a nice little feature. It's going to last a little bit longer. Moving on to another boot that's a mid-height boot, we have the Salewa ALP Trainer Mid. Again, another flexible boot. So we give this one a 2 flex rating. You've got good tread, once again, a Vibram sole. This one does have a full rubber rand, which is nice. Protect your foot. The sole on this is quite soft. When you put your foot in this boot, you're going to find that it's a really comfortable boot. You get a really nice wrap on your foot. So the Italian boots that we carry, both Salewa, Crispy, they're going to be a little bit more form-fitting through the forefoot, so medium to narrow fit. If you look at some of the German-made boots, they're a little bit roomier through the toe box. This Salewa is a really nice, comfortable early season option. Again, it's a synthetic upper combined with a suede, really comfortable boot. Chris Porter that works here, this is one of his favorite early season boots for mule deer. The next boot I have for you is also a Salewa, which is an Italian-made boot. This boot is a little bit more burly than the ALP Trainer Mid. This is the Mountain Light Trainer Mid. This is a little bit stiffer, ever so slightly stiffer. You've got more lug, a little bit better tread on the bottom. Once again, you have a rubber rand along the toe. You've got lacing that goes almost to the toe box, which is nice because you're able to tighten those across your toe if you need to get a better climbing zone. Salewa was known for this 3F lacing system, which is nice. What that does is it essentially allows you to lock your heel cup in as you lace those boots up and cinch it around the top of your foot. Full Gore-Tex boot, so this boot is totally waterproof. This is an awesome option for early season mule deer or elk even, I would say. So, this could take you even into some really mountainous terrain. It's more flexible. If you have softer feet, if you tend to get blisters on your heels or through the front part of your foot, this might be a nice option for you because it is going to flex and move with your foot, and it is really lightweight, which is a great feature of this boot. Another boot that's a little bit taller, this is the Ultratusher. You can see that the Tusher, first and foremost, is really wide through the toe box. So if you've got a wide foot, medium to wide foot, you need a little bit more room up front. This is a boot that you might consider. This boot is a little bit stiffer through the sole. It does have a nice rubber beefy sole. It's going to last. It is a fully waterproof boot, so it has an E-vent membrane, which would be comparable to your Gore-Tex that a lot of you are familiar with, E-vent just being another manufacturer. So fully waterproof, a little bit taller, really lightweight still because you've got this synthetic and rubber upper. So once again, if you need a little bit more room through your forefoot, you might consider the Ultra. Another thing about Ultra, which I probably should mention, is they're known for their zero drop. So between the heel and the forefoot, it's a flat sole. So it's flat inside, which is going to promote your foot movement, so more natural foot movement. Another little feature about this Ultra, you've got this built-in gator Velcro piece. So Ultra also sells gaiters that you can use to put on over top of this boot and actually sense those down with that little Velcro piece at the bottom, which is a nice little feature of that boot. The last one that I have for you, it's relatively high. This is the Wildfire GTX Mid, made by Salewa. This is a really nice technical mountain approach shoe, I would call it. It's got a built-in gaiter, which is nice. It's going to keep debris from getting down into your shoe. Mid-height, it's got once again the 3F lacing system that they're known for. You have a really nice climbing zone through this toe, as well as the full rubber ram that wraps around the toe of this. You have a really tacky, flexible sole in this shoe. This shoe is actually the shoe that I wore last year on my mountain goat hunt. So that was a late season mountain goat hunt in really, really rocky terrain. Where this thing really shined is being able to move through that really rocky terrain. So I mean, it was basically, basketball-sized boulders and bigger. The flexibility and the dexterity that this gave me really allowed me to move through that terrain effectively. And it's got a really tacky sole. So if you're looking at like some real high elevation approach type stuff, some real rocky terrain, this is a really nice little option. So this is, once again, that Wildfire GTX Mid, made by Salewa. Another Salewa shoe that we are carrying is the Dropline GTX. This is kind of what they advertise as a mountain approach shoe. It's really lightweight. It's got a thick, really cushy, ortho-light, super comfortable sole within this thing. You've got a nice lacing system that's comfortable across the top of it. This is fully waterproof. You can see that you've not got super deep tread, but you have just enough. Of all the shoes that we have here on the table, I would say this is one of the more comfortable shoes. I think this would be an awesome option for like an early season antelope where you're covering just an absolute ton of country. You're covering ground, you get back to your tent or your camper at night, you're gonna have feet that aren't completely worn out. It's gonna flex really well with you. We would give this either a flex weight 1 or 2, I would say. Super comfortable shoe for early season, even trail running. This would be a nice option. The lightest shoe on the table, I mean, extremely lightweight. You pick this thing up and it feels like next to nothing in your hand, is this Innovate Mudclaw 300. Also of the shoes that we carry that are a low top, you can see that one has the absolute best grip tread on that shoe. I mean, it is really a deep lug, which is why they call it a Mudclaw. So if you need some traction, this might be the shoe for you. You have a full rand here along the face of the shoe. The upper portion of this is obviously a synthetic. Brady really likes the Mudclaw. It's been kind of his go-to shoe over the last several years, linked in with a gaiter to keep any kind of debris out of it. But that's a really nice shoe, and man, that thing is so super light. If you need some traction, you need a lightweight hiker, that might be a good option for you. This shoe right here is a brand new shoe for 2020 for Crispy. This is the Crispy Ativa. You can see it's got a Vibram sole on it. It's got a little bit of flex in it. It's actually one of the more stiff-soled shoes within this category. So it's going to give you some support. So you could actually probably throw on a pack and still get some support through this shoe. You can see that it's got a nice leather treated ram through the toe cap. The rest of the shoe is a micro suede. It's got a great feel to it. It's got a nice lacing system with a cinch cord, so it's quick. It's actually one of the more expensive shoes within this range of shoes, but I do think you're going to get really good wear and tear out of this shoe. And again, I think it's a more supportive shoe within the same category. Been a really popular seller for us. Once again, crispy Ativa. Another Salewa shoe that we have within this category, it's the low top version of the Mountain Trainer Mid. This is the Mountain Trainer Low, or just the regular Mountain Trainer Light. Again, this is a great option for you if you're looking for a lightweight hiking shoe. The shoe is Gore-Tex, so it's fully waterproof. You have a really nice tacky sole. You've got a rubber toe cap, which is a nice option. Once again, you have that 3F lacing system that really locks your heel in. One thing I haven't probably touched on with the Salewa shoes is that they all come with a no blister guarantee. So if you have a blister in one of their shoes, you know, they'll either replace it for you or sort it out for you, but that's a pretty sweet guarantee for a shoe. And I have found, I've worn a bunch of different Salewas. I've got a pair on my feet right now. I found that I've had no blister problems at all. I really feel like if you're looking for a shoe that has a great heel lock, a great heel cup, if you're a guy that gets blisters on your heels, I would take a really good look at these Salewa shoes, because I do think they have one of the best heel pockets of all the shoes that we carry. The last one I'm going to touch on is a lightweight, really tacky soled running shoe. This is the Olympus 4 by Ultra. Once again, similar to the Tusher, you see that really wide foot box through the front of the shoe. They call it foot shape, so you know, if you look at your foot, you know, their thing is that if you look at a lot of shoes, it's not shaped like a foot. Whereas if you look at that Ultra, it might be shaped more similarly to, like, you know, what your actual foot looks like. So the fit through the forefoot is going to be wider. It's going to give you more room. If you're on a long pack out, you have a heavy pack, this is going to give your foot more room to spread out through the forefoot. This shoe also has really nice tread through the bottom. You've got obviously a thicker, more cushioned sole, which is a nice option. Once again, you've got that zero drop in the Ultra shoes, which promotes a more natural foot movement. I would say this shoe is also one of the lightest shoes that we carry in this range, next to the Mudclaw by Innovate. That's a really lightweight, nice hiking shoe. So this is our lightweight early season hiking, hunting shoe range. If you're looking for an option for an early season antelope or an early season mule deer hunt in some low country where you really need to cover a lot of ground, one of these is probably going to work for you. If you have any questions about any one of these boots, feel free to drop us a comment below. I'd be happy to answer that for you. I would love it if you would like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate you watching. Man, the season, it's hard to believe that it's going to open up here in a month. Good luck to you. I hope you've got your shoes and all your other gear sorted out, but good luck.